Okay, so this is where we had left off last time. Let's continue with our project. So now, since we know that our Express server is working, we will continue our work. So the goal that these 3 points we have noted here: shorten the link, redirect, and use a create a front end for it. First, we will tackle one by one. First, we'll shorten the link. That's the basis of this whole project. We have to short a link. Okay, so to short a link means to create the backend, we also need a database so that we can fetch the long URL when the short URL is given to us, right? So here we will use MySQL as a database, and if you want to see here, uh, I have my MySQL server running. This is running on my Starnix cloud. I have my database here, and here are the two tables that will have the data, links and history. As I have said earlier, that we will also be recording some analytics which will be stored in the history table, and the links will contain the uh, the ID, that is the short URL, the URL, that is the main node, means the original long URL, and creation time is the timestamp at which the URL, the shortening of the URL occurred. So let's start. First, we will work on the database section because we want to have that thing ready before we put it. Means before we process the incoming link, we should have our database structure ready, right? So I'll create a new file, database.js, where we can work on it. For using MySQL with Node.js, we will use the npm package, that is MySQL 2. I will just install it. I think it's already installed here. MySQL 2. Okay, so the package is already up to date. No problem in that. But let's start. So we will take in, means we will require the MySQL package SQL 2, and we will create a connection to the database. Now, which database we're using? We're using my local database, and yes, this database will also be available when the project is online, but it's only accessible from within my network. Anyway, that is a different part of networks that we will discuss later. If you are interested to know, just let me know in the comments. Okay, so the IP for the database is this. My bad. IP for the database is my local IP of my Raspberry Pi. The port is 33060. Yeah, this is a non-standard port because multiple services are running on that Pi. User is root. Password is also root. Yeah, I know this is not the best practice, but yeah, it works for a tutorial. And user is root, password is root. Let's see, and obviously I will use the promised version of this thing. Now let's see if the connection happens. Connection, not connect. And let me check for the errors. If there happens to be an error, that will be logged out here. Okay, another thing we can do is, if no error, then we can console.log no error, or maybe connection successful. Else log the error. Let's see if this thing works. Okay, we are getting some error here. MySQL is not a function. Oh, sorry, that is not MySQL. It will be This tmux is, it's good, but sometimes it behaves weirdly. This is create connection. Now let's test it. Okay, there is no error. So, but wait, there is also no connection successful as well. Anyway, I expect this to be a successful connection. Okay, so in this video, we created a connection with our database. In the next video, we will start fetching the data, reading, writing, and all that good stuff. Thank you and stay tuned.